Hello.
Hello.
Yay, it worked. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Look at your beautiful backdrop.
Yes, there's the home behind.
Very
Nice and
nice.
quiet. Kids are asleep.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Ty's away. Ty's hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hiding. I've told him to disappear.
Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Why don't you start by letting us all know a little bit about who you are and where roundabouts where your build is.
Okay. So Lauren is who I am. So I'm a mum to 5 kids. I've got 4 boys and 1 girl, and they age from 11 down to 1. So I've got my hands full with all of them.
Very busy.
Yes, very busy. And my husband is in the construction industry. He's got his own business doing shop fit out. So he's busy with that. And we have just finished building our home. So we're located in Queensland.
Yep.
And we're on the northern side of the Gold Coast. So we're kind of hidden in the beautiful hillside there. So yeah.
Beautiful. So did you own a build if he's in the construction industry? Yeah.
We did. We didn't originally plan to do that just because of how busy he is already doing his own thing. He really was trying to shy away from doing it ourselves just because of finding the time and making it work. So yeah, we originally were going to go through a builder and we had planned and budgeted for that as well. But I think at the end, when we saw how much it was going to cost to what we could save doing it ourselves and knowing that we had the resources to do that, we just thought we'd be silly to go down that path with a builder if we could do it ourselves and save a ton of money. So yeah, we ended up building it ourselves. He was basically the builder on site and I was the site foreman and trying not to step on too many toes and making too many last minute changes. But yeah, so we built it ourselves. So that was a fun experience for me, but I think for him it was really stressful.
Yeah. And how long did it take? So from like not planning phases, because that can take forever. So from start, basically breaking soil.
So we basically started the start of November last year and moved in the end of March this year. So it was a very quick build.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think because we did it ourselves, my husband's used to running, you know, jobs on a very tight time frame and being able to use our own trades that also work on tight time frames that really worked in our favor as well. So yeah, probably all up, I think that was about 5 months.
Yeah, nice. And then I guess too, being on a builder, you've been able to be on site, move in and still finish things off as you go.
Yeah. Well, we ended up moving in. We were planning to move in early March, but we were delayed with weather. I think we got a good 2 to 3 weeks there for like heavy rain. So that really delayed us. Yeah. So we were really wanting to be in early March, but then with everything happening, we were delayed and we didn't want to be we were renting before. So we didn't want to be in transit of renting and still trying to finish up a build. So before everything went into kind of not lockdown, but, you know, we had a little isolation there. We decided to get everyone in the end of March, and basically we didn't have our kitchen ready yet, but we had the Butlers Pantry. So that kind of became our little kitchen, and we had 1 bathroom that was functioning. So that was us. And then we just finished everything. Yeah, we had the luxury of finishing everything off while we were living in the house and whatnot. But yeah, it was definitely a great benefit to be able to be on site every day, see what was happening, have our say if we needed to. And, you know, there were things that were changed last minute, but again, having that, being able to do that is you know,
having a lovely close relationship with your builder.
Yeah. We had to keep that relationship going strong. Otherwise, everyone on site knew about it.
Yeah. So tell us about planning. So did you design your floor plan, but you and him?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
So before we even got to our draftsman, we pretty much had an idea of what we wanted the floor plan to be like.
Yeah.
And being on just over an acre, we, like our previous homes we had were 2-story homes, and so we originally had planned for a 2-story home build, just because I liked the idea of children's bedrooms, our bedrooms were all away from, the entertainment and kitchen and whatnot. So I really like that idea. But then coming onto over an acre, we were able to kind of expand and use that block better to our advantage with rather than doing a 2-story. I felt like that may have got a little lost on the block.
Yeah.
So we decided to go with the 1-story, and still made it work though, where I decided, okay, well, I still want bedrooms and everything away from the entertainment.
Yeah.
But I also liked that I was able to put us up one end of the house. So we had our little parents retreat, away from the kids' bedrooms up one end of the house, all that entertainment in the middle of the house, and then we had all the kids down the other end. So so we basically, before we got to the draftsman, we were just able to say to him, right, this is what we kind of have in mind. And it was enough for him to be able to straight away draw it up, on paper for us. And then we just tweaked it here and there along the way. So
nice. Beautiful. So you planned it. Is this your first build?
It is, yes.
Okay.
We've always bought, and then we did one renovation on our home before we bought this block. So and of course it always happens, you renovate and then you just finish all your renovations, and then you're like, okay, let's put the house up for sale and move. So we probably got to enjoy that for about 6 months. Like, we did the big reno of it when we first moved in, but we didn't finish it off until we left. So but this is our first build. I always wanted to build when it came to finding or planning our forever home. So we always had that in mind, but it was just trying to find the right location and the right size block, because it's not easy to find acreage anymore. That's far and in between right now. So we were just lucky that the timing was perfect, everything worked out, and we found this beautiful block.
Now, you did say you've had a few changes along the way. I know how that feels after my pool debacle yesterday. So
I jumped on that. I'm like, I know that feeling.
Oh my God, I got to the side and I was like, okay, the pool is amazing, but that is not the step I had in mind. And I freaked out.
And our poor husbands, because they kind of look at us like, uh-oh, what's wrong? I felt like there was so many times.
Oh, and it's such a lesson in being clear, isn't it? Because I know what I want. It's so clear in my head, and I think I'm explaining it. So talk us through some of your big changes.
Okay, big changes. Oh, that's a good question. Were they big ones? I feel like they were more minor, but then they were minor, but they were a hassle and an inconvenience when it came to time frames.
Yeah.
So one of the minor ones that I should have learnt my lesson, because I did, I should have known all this, but PowerPoints, I kind of left that in, and my husband might jump in. So hang on, no, that's not right. But PowerPoints, I kind of left that to him to do. Didn't really have too much input on it. And then, of course, I walked through this house, I don't know how many times, but do you think that I saw where PowerPoints were going? No, my focus was on other things. And it wasn't until the PowerPoint plates went on that I walked into our bathrooms. And they were and for other people, it may not bother them, but for me, aesthetically, I was like, that's not going to work. So I walked in, I think, first to my kids' bathroom, and we had our vanity there, and the tiling had already been done. And the PowerPoint was smack bang in the middle of the 2 taps coming out of the wall. So you could imagine, walking into that, I just straight away, I'm like, no. And he's like, what do you mean no? It's already done. We can't change it. I'm like, we cannot have a PowerPoint there. That's all you see. And I said, the taps coming out are meant to be your feature, but then your eyes just drawn to the PowerPoint. And then of course I went into our ensuite, same thing. And again, tiling was already done. So that was a bit of a hassle because we had to move them and then retile those areas and whatnot. So it just affected us as far as time frames went, because I was making these changes after they pretty much was like, no, this is how it is, you can't change now. And then there was things like where locations of light switches were and whatnot, where I should have, it was just a communication breakdown thing, really. Like that's all it was. Like it was a lot of things that I said to him, you know what, I need to be clearer, you need to be clearer, and we need to make sure before we go on site that we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
But I think in our defense too, and probably everyone else's, life kind of gets in the way, being parents as well. You know, you're juggling, trying to build, you're juggling, trying, you know, to still fulfill your duties at home and take care of the kids. And so I think it was just, we had to really learn that lesson of, okay, we need to regroup and what are we doing today, or what are we doing this week, and then kind of go off that. Otherwise, we ended up in those little pickles, you know, a few times more than we probably should have if we had a better understanding of each other's role, I guess.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, I know for me, little things probably like PowerPoints, just they're not in my head at the moment. Like I'm trying to think big picture. What do I want this all to look like? And it's like, again, this step, I knew what I wanted it to look like, but then I hadn't thought logistically, like it was too deep to step into. We needed to add another step because I was like, my parents, you know, Josh's parents, my sister's kids, no one's going to be able to get in the pool because
and it's so funny when I saw that too, because that was one of our other little things, exactly the same as well. We had the 1 meter length sitting, what do you call it, sitting step along the whole side of the pool, but when I got here and all the concreting was done, I'm like, where's the little step to get into the pool? And he's like, well, did we have this conversation? I'm like, yeah, but that's just common sense.
It's a given.
But because I didn't communicate that, he's like, well, I didn't know. And it was an easy fix. But, you know, it's just those little things that when, I think my biggest advice is, especially when you're doing it with your husband or your partner, to make sure that you do sit down once a week, have a plan for the week. And, you know, I thought we were pretty on top of it and doing really well with that. But then it kind of got to a point where it was moving so quickly and we were trying to make decisions, you know, those last minute decisions. Or I was put on the spot to make a decision where it kind of went out the window for a bit. So I think if you just stay focused and be on the same page together every day, like quickly have a little regroup before you head out on site or whatever, and just make sure you're on, you know, the same page, because otherwise those kind of things you don't think of. Like you do think of the bigger picture and you're not thinking of all those little things.
And I guess, and that's it. I've never done this. We've never even renovated. We've dived straight into a custom build, and we're using a family friend as our builder. So we have free range to pick everything. We're complete rookies. So I'm like, okay, that's all right. At least we learnt here. It's not like I'm moving a bathroom on a slab. It's like, we're fine. This is okay.
I know. And that's probably, because, you know, with Ty, this is what he does every day. And so I think he was kind of in that mode of, well, we've already sat down and done our plans. It was on the plan. Didn't you see the plan? I'm like, no, I didn't look at the plan that deeply. I was looking at more the bigger stuff. I didn't even think about that stuff. So for him, you know, he was like, this is how I roll. And I'm like, okay, well, just remember, for me, this is not my area. This is not my expertise. This is all new for me. I don't do this every day like you do. So if you want me to look at the plans that deeply, then you need to let me know. So I'm aware too that, okay, I need to be looking at the finer things as well as, you know, the bigger things. Otherwise, you just don't.
Yeah, exactly. We're too busy selecting tiles.
Yes, exactly. We're too busy selecting all those little nice finishes that everyone really appreciates at the end. No one cares about PowerPoints, do they?
So talk to me about tiles. I have noticed, I love that you have used a range of different tiles throughout your house, and you've sourced them from all different places. So was it Was it a cost thing that you looked around to stick to your budget? Was it the fact that you were just trying to find the best tiles for every space? Talk to us about that.
Well, I felt like I was really prepared as far as what tiles I wanted to do in each space, in each area. But then I came to a problem when it came to ordering the tiles. I should have ordered them earlier, but I ordered them when I thought was the right time to order them. But when I went to order them, the majority of them were out of stock because they were popular tiles. And so I had to, that's why I ended up, I think, sourcing from other places or trying to find something that was similar to the look that I was going with in the first place. So yeah, I really knew exactly what I wanted before I actually, I guess, before we even designed because I had all my inspo pics and my mood board, my inspo board. So yeah, I kind of really knew what finishes I wanted to go with, but it was the sourcing that was actually the hardest for me. I really think I should have given it more time as far as if it meant ordering them earlier, then I should have ordered them earlier just to make sure that I did have them available for when I needed them. Because then there was also, you know, my outdoor tiles where I went with the frost and the dusty pink. They had being mindful that not everything's going to be delivered in the time frame, the standard time frame. It may take longer. So, you know, for them, it was like a 3-week turnaround, but they weren't in stock. Yeah. So, you know, those kind of things I had to be really, I guess some things I had to sacrifice and go, okay, you know what, that's just not going to work within our time frames. I'm going to have to look and find something else, hopefully similar. But yeah, definitely a budget was there and I had to stick within that budget. There were some other finishes that I did love and want, but you know, budget didn't allow for it. Husband didn't allow for it. So he was like, no, bring it back down. So yeah, so I had to really kind of look around and source for something different, but still along the same kind of lines of what I wanted in the first place. So yeah.
What is your favorite space within your house?
I got a few. I really love my entry. I love just when you walk in, those high ceilings kind of just take you away to be like, wow, you know, look at that height. So I really love when you first walk in. Love my kitchen. I love the space of it. I always, knowing when we wanted to build, I wanted to make sure that we had a nice, spacious kitchen where, you know, because you've got kids coming in and out as well and then entertaining. So I really wanted to make sure that space was nice and open. And then funnily enough, my laundry. I hate laundry. Let me just put that out there. I don't know if is there anyone that loves laundry? But I love the layout of it. I love how it feels. It receives so much beautiful light and it's white and yeah, thank you. So yeah, no, I love it. I dread going in what I have to do, but I love being in the space. Probably those three.
Enjoy your time in there.
Yeah, and just kind of gaze out the window and pretend I'm somewhere else.
What would be 3 biggest tips you have for people that are diving into their first build?
Okay, 3 tips. All right, number 1, I think would be, like I touched on before, was to plan and prepare before your week even starts. So yeah, make sure if it is going in it with your partner to have a plan of, okay, what are we doing this week? What's coming up this week? And if you've got any input or changes that need to happen, then discuss that before you get on site. Because I find it's just too crazy when you're on site. Like I think not everyone's going to be on site as much as what I was, you know, or you will be, but just being on the same page every step of the way and being open with that communication. Number 2, plan ahead as far as, like I said, with your finishes, because not everything, it may be your time frame to start something, but it may not work for the supplier, you know, that may not be available. So making sure or checking in ahead what your lead times are going to be before ordering or going to order, because you may need to order stuff, you know, 2 months in advance to what you think on your schedule, you know, your program. So yeah, definitely check those lead times. And thirdly, just enjoy the whole journey of it. I think one thing coming away from it is both Ty and I, we wanted to make sure that it was, you know, we knew there was going to be bumps along the road, especially, you know, building it ourselves and him being the builder and me having my 2 cents every second of the way. But making sure, yeah, you enjoy the journey because it's your home. You know, it's something you're to live in. You don't want it to be a crazy, stressful experience before you move in. You want to make sure that it's an enjoyable one. So yeah, I think that's my three.
Nice. And it is a journey. It's like, I think I've learnt more in the last, you know, 6 weeks than ever before. And you think you know what you're in for, and you're like, yeah, I've got this. I've got my mood board.
Exactly.
I've got every Instagram, Pinterest picture I can have. And then when you have to make a decision, that's when I freak out. And I think it's about trusting your gut as well. Like,
absolutely, because you think you're planned and prepared, and there are going to be times that you're going to have to make a decision. You don't have time. You've got to make it on the spot. And I always became very frazzled in those moments because I'm like, I'm someone who needs time to think about it. And
I should know
you
this.
need. So yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. I do have a question. Your Butlers Pantry.
Yeah.
What have you put in there? Is it mainly a pantry, or does it have a sink, an oven, what dishwasher? What's it got?
Okay, so the Butlers Pantry has our fridge. We put an oven in there as well. We do have our bigger oven out in the kitchen area, but I wanted to make sure that there was another oven when it came to entertaining people, or if I was cooking our main meals there, then I wanted another oven to cook dessert or whatever. So yeah, we've got the oven in there, and we've got another sink in there. I'm hoping this week we've had a bit of it's been a bit of a journey, that Butlers Pantry. There's been a few hiccups along the way in there. So I'm hoping this week, at the end of the week, I can kind of give a reveal on it because it'll be finally finished. Nice. But yeah, they're the appliance. Mainly, I tried to kind of push as much as I could in there to hide, because I wanted to leave my kitchen to be, you know, just the bench tops, and you know what I mean, like to make it look a bit pretty, not have a fridge in there. And I mean, we did have the option of doing an integrated fridge, but because we could fit it in the Butlers Pantry, I thought, you know what, let's put it in there and it's away. Yeah. So yeah, so it's still, it's basically another prepping area really when it comes to using the kitchen.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I do have one other question. We are nearly out of time, but I wanted to ask you about your sourcing of decor and furniture, because you've got a big house to fill. Did you, silly choice now, but we moved remote, worked for a few years, and have since come back to the coast. So we basically were like, you know what, we're filling this house with everything brand new. So we sold everything. And now that the build has started, I'm like, it was a little bit ambitious. So I'm trying to start to source stuff now each week. I'm like, right, if I just buy something every week, it'll mean that once we're in, we've pretty much got everything back again. So yeah, talk to me. What are some of your favorite places?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think going off my feed, you'll know that I love all pieces uniqua. I think there, but you know, you got to have the budget for it too. So there's been some compromises there. Oh, what are my other favorite? You know, for me, I think it's really important, like for your lounge and whatnot, to really, if you can, they were probably my high ticketed items, only because my kids, and I feel like, you know, they can trash things very easily. And I went a bit more pricier with the lounges because I wanted something to last. I wanted something to last. I wanted to have material that was, you know, easy to clean. And so like we brought over one of our lounges that we had in the other house, but we actually went new with the other lounges just because they didn't work in this space. And the coloring was completely different. What are my other go-to places. Recently, it's been, if you live on the coast, it's called Village Store down the coast. So they got a lovely, like it's more one-off pieces. Yeah. And that's what I love. Like, it's not something that you'll see in everyone's home. So yeah, I really like to go shopping and find pieces that I know not everyone else is going to have.
Yeah, nice.
Do you know what I mean? Because then it's more unique to your own home as well. So yeah, and I think too, one thing I have learned being in here is keeping it simple, like not going overboard with my styling, just keeping it really simple and not kind of overdoing spaces. And I don't know, it can still have such a, you know, nice effect, but it's not overboard where you're like, oh gosh, there's so many things going on here. But you know, so just kind of like reining it back if you can and keeping it simple. Sorry, my dog is going crazy out there, if you can hear.
So fun. I'm eyeing off your beautiful dining table.
Oh, thank you. Yes, the big concrete table. That was actually a last minute. I still hadn't decided what I wanted for my dining table. We were going to go with a rectangle table, and then we realized in that space it probably wasn't going to be the best fit. And then I went to an oval table, and then finally came to the round white table.
It is great. And where are your chairs from, if you don't mind me asking, for your dining table?
The chairs, so they're the Malawi chair, the original Malawi, which I actually got through, I think it's Zoe Interiors is the name of the store. So I sourced them from her, and I went to her because at the time she was actually, the lady I dealt with is really great. She price matched for me, and I think even got them for me a little under what the original price was because I found them for sale. So yeah, I got them from there. I mean, I could give you a little, probably not down the kids area, but I could give you a little tour of the front and probably.
I would love a little tour.
Okay, all right. Let me just get my camera off here and see if I can flip this. Okay, so you've probably already seen this space a lot because I kind of love this area of the home. So you've got the lounge.
Nice.
Which at the moment it's very simple. I'm still deciding what to do here. I really want to do something with this space, but I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
But I want to do something there. So you got the lounge, and then of course this is where we all sit down and have a crazy family meal. And then we've got the kitchen.
Love it. Is that a gas strut window?
It is. And we just had actually this week, oh, if I can reach it, the screen to put down so we can keep that gas strut open all day if we want to. So we just had that put in last week. And then I've actually got my furniture. I've got furniture coming this week. I'm so excited. So my stools are coming. So this space will finally be finished. And then I've got my outdoor furniture coming. So I'm really excited. And then this is the front entry that I love. Yes. Still deciding what to do in this space as well, but I don't think it needs too much, to be honest.
No, I think she is pretty magnificent with those pendants.
Yes. Oh, and there's a vacuum.
Hey, bit of reality.
Just keeping it real. But yes, I won't venture down the other end because I'll wake up Kitty.
Don't wake up the cherries. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
And taking us inside your beautiful home and sharing all your tips and tricks and your learnings. And I can't wait to see the reveal of your Butlers Pantry.
Yes, I can't wait for it to be finished finally because I'm hanging out to just organise that space because right now it feels like it's just a bomb. So
it's going to be amazing. So thank you so much, Lauren, and we will talk
you.
very soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.